All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is live from 95, episode 1. We'd like to bring you a different type of podcast. This is a podcast for the fans, by the fans, just a couple rap nerds. We'll be discussing current events in hip hop, new music, classics, bar breakdowns, etc. This is your boy Gabriel, aka G.
And it's your boy Royale, aka the R.
Yeah. So we'll be getting into it. Um, So it's been a crazy last 2 weeks
What
in
a
hip hop.
crazy amount of 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. I
Crazy.
mean, our agenda for today is not originally what we wanted to open the podcast with, but there's just been so much going on. We just we have to talk about it. So let's start off with that surprise album drop from M 2 weeks ago.
Kamikaze.
Yes, sir. How you feeling about that?
Man, that album is amazing. Vintage M, everything that I expected of that man to do, he's done it.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is for the fans, by the fans, right? I know you were not a fan of Revival.
It wasn't for me exactly.
I did enjoy most of the album, to be honest, but we won't get into Revival too much. That's been a topic that's been beat to the ground. I think a lot of Kamikaze has right now, but I did want to address something that I don't feel like has been talked about much. And that was comments from Joe Budden and Lord Jamal, amongst others, about Eminem lacking content in his music,
I agree.
specifically over the last 10 years. So if we look at the last 10 years, we're looking at Relapse through Kamikaze. So that's what, 4 albums? We got Relapse, Recovery, Marshall Mathers LP2, and Kamikaze. Revival, 5.
Five.
5 albums. Um, how do you feel about that? Because me and you have both been long time, M fans.
Yeah.
He's touched both of us in personal ways through his music, as he has many other people. So how do you feel about that statement, man?
About him lacking content.
Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree. M always had content. Eminem is just one of those rappers that, I mean, he's reached pinnacles. He's done it all, and he's still proving himself with his music. Whether some people don't agree, or some people feel that the lack of content is not there. I disagree. He's always produced content. Even Revival had its content. Again, like I said, the album. I feel like we discussed.
Excuse the
before.
barking in the background if y'all hear that.
I feel like Revival had content songs. There was not. It wasn't an album that I didn't dislike and that I would shelve and just leave it on my shelf and not bump. No, there was the gems on the song, and again, I feel like we discussed it, that he was trying to please so many different fans out there that it just was all over the place.
Yeah, it was definitely wasn't cohesive. You had some Relapse in there. You had like a little bit of vintage M in there. You had a little bit of modern era M in there. I did enjoy it though. I know a lot of production was commercial for a lot of people, but I mean the bars were there. And to M's point on Kamikaze, I just feel like it was going over a lot of people's heads.
I agree.
But to be objective, right? Because we're not gonna say here's a couple of stands. Let's take that argument. That's all right. That M doesn't have content. So let's actually look at his content over the last 10 years, which I don't feel like has been done in recent weeks. Starting with Relapse. So me personally, that is probably my second least favorite Eminem album next to Encore. But does it lack content?
I guess it all depends on the persons that can relate.
Well,
Right?
let's backtrack a little bit, right? Let's define what content is. So what's content to you, like as a fan? What are you looking for as far as content?
I'm looking for definitely something that I can relate to. I look for
Yes.
somebody who can bring me into, make me see what the picture that they're trying to paint. So if you could bring me back to your childhood and what you went through and with such passion and bring me there so I can physically see it and know what you've been through, I respect that. I look for that. It's content.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's definitely that which brings certain people close to certain artists is definitely that storytelling, that personal passion that they put into the music about their lives. But it could also be other things, you know. In hip hop, we talk a lot about the best storytellers, right?
Yeah.
That's content. Uh, and anything that's meaningful, whether it's discussing society, a personal issue, something you can relate to. So let's use that as an objective kind of way to really look at M and see if he has been lacking content. So real quick, obviously we're not gonna break down every song of the last 10 years. That's too much. But we'll just go through the playlist, the track list of the albums of last 10 years. So starting with Relapse. Again, me personally, I didn't relate to that. But he did have some universal gems like Beautiful, My Darling, Careful What You Wish For. But I know from hearing from other fans, people who have dealt with drug addiction to that extent or any kind of addiction to that severity, um, they do praise this album in that. So while it may not be content for you and I, it's definitely content for other people.
Exactly.
Um, but for sake of argument, for our purposes, let's just say, all right, Relapse did lack content for the most part. So you have one album. Again, it's subjective. A lot of people did find content in it. It's still a great album filled with a lot of great stories, even if you don't relate to it. Um, so there's that. Next one, Recovery. I don't feel like we really need to cover this one. Um,
I definitely don't think we need to, but I mean, if we need to just touch the base on it a little bit as far as content, right?
I mean, I don't think there's an argument of that album not having content. It's considered his best modern era
I
album.
agree.
So we're not even gonna touch on Recovery. That album speaks for itself. Um, One of his better, again, modern era M albums. Next one up was Marshall Mathers LP2, which I feel like is so underappreciated,
Most
man.
slept on album. It's the most slept on album.
I
And
mean,
again, we're talking about content, right? In the last
yeah,
10 years.
objectively.
Bad guy.
Bad Guy, that you can't say that's not content. That in
Exactly.
case people missed it is the conclusion to the Stan story. Um, and everyone should know Stan. It's a classic hip hop song from the
You'd be
first Marshall Mathers
surprised.
LP. Oh, I would be surprised. We'll get into that later. People missed some lines in Kill
Yeah,
Shot,
bro.
his MGK track referencing Stan, but we'll get into that later. But Bad Guy, I feel like is great, and then how he goes into the reflection at the end. How he reflects on himself and
Yeah.
everything that he did coming up and all the shit he put out with and how it's coming back. There's no way that's not content. Um, So much better. That's content. Classic relationship issue M,
Hmm.
right? Survival. He talks about adversity in that, getting over things. I think that's content. Legacy is a personal favorite of mine.
I agree. That is
Um,
definitely one of my favorite songs on that album.
Relatable. One, in my opinion, one of his better songs. Period. But there's definitely content there. Asshole's debatable.
I I like it because I feel
I
like
love
there
that
is some
song.
content in there.
So do I.
I feel like there's
But
content.
to be objective, that's debatable. Berserk is that's rapping about rap.
Yeah,
There's no content there, but
yeah,
it's a dope throwback.
it is.
Rap God again, rapping about rap. There's really not no content there.
I don't see nobody else doing that.
Technically, you got Tech Nine,
Tech Nine,
you got Joyner Lucas,
okay. I don't
Hobson to
see
an extent.
how long would you say? Again, like I don't know if anybody even pays attention to these guys, right? I know we're definitely fans of Jonah Lucas and Tech Nine. Um, has anybody ever said, hey, you know what? Tech Nine broke the most words in a minute. I know Eminem broke that with Rap God, right? Has Jonah Lucas done
I
that?
know Tech Nine's up there. I mean, if you're talking about straight speed,
I'm talking about speed, and again, love Tech Nine, big fan of Tech Nine. I feel like even in Speed 'em, I think Eminem surpassed words per minute towards Tech Nine.
probably,
And I'm
but
not pinning them up against each other. I'm just saying, as a fan, just at what he does, I feel like nobody is there. There's people who are close and do it, but I feel like M he mastered it.
the technical skills,
And
absolutely.
again, Tech Nine is a very skilled MC. I'm not taking nothing from him.
But the argument, I don't think anyone can argue, nobody has argued that M can't rap or M isn't technically
But is
best.
that what the people are talking about though?
I mean, it's lack of content, bro. They're saying
I mean,
he's not
so
talking about anything. So that's why we're going through this and be like, what is he really talking about? Rap God is a braggadocious record,
yeah, it's
but
skilled. It's him just chewing up the
oh,
alphabet.
absolutely.
I
I
think
think it's
that's
a
a
great.
skill. I mean, content is a big part of being an MC, but I feel like you know word plays and the syllables and killing the alphabet is also another skill set.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And and I know, we 100% agree with that. But again, trying to be objective and being devil's advocate here. Technical skill aside, because in that regard, Eminem is the if not one of the greatest. Um, but again, content based on what we defined it, Rap God doesn't have content in that sense, right? Brainless content. If you haven't listened to that song, that's a gem. Uh, Throwback M talks about childhood again, and struggling with bullying and coming up feeling different. So it's definitely content there. Stronger than I was. That's content. And classic relationship issue M.
Yeah.
Right. Monster radio record content.
You know what? The collab, I loved it. I don't know how some people feel about those two, Rihanna and Mr. Marshall, on the same record, but I know they previously did a song "Love the Way You Lie" on the Recovery album,
Yeah,
and
I love that song.
this is their second feature. And I feel like definitely there's content, and
Third feature. I think "Love You, the Way You Lie" Part 2 on Rihanna's album was before this or after. I'm not sure on the timetable on that.
is it the same song?
No, there was a Part 2 on Rihanna's album.
Is it like, but like, is it like added verse, or is it
It's a
like,
completely different record.
it's a completely different
Yeah,
song with M on it?
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Monster again. So far, there's no content there for me. It's just one of the funny M stories. But no content. Love Game featuring Kendrick Lamar. As a fan, a disappointing collab between these two.
I
I
mean,
wanted something more.
when I saw those two together, I was like, this is gonna be something, and I get what they did. You know, it's classic.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I'm
was
saying?
playful, definitely more M style, but Kendrick
You
adapted
know,
well and
but
killed it.
if you guys are listening, I definitely would love another collab
Yes, please.
where you guys just
Get
show
serious.
them now. You know what? The first one was playful. Now let's show you what we got. I mean, again, great song.
But lack of content, I can make that argument, right?
Yes.
Headlights, absolutely no way you can say a song does not have content. That hit me in the heart when I heard it.
You know, and I feel like because we grew up with it, knowing the struggle with his mom and all that, and we can relate
On a
coming
personal
up
level.
coming up as adolescents, growing up, we was is that beef at home and whether you got along or you didn't with your mom, there was always a difference. There was always differences at the house, and coming up from cleaning up my closet to all the stuff that he said about his mom and the lawsuits, and then for him to just drop this song, bro, it definitely hit me. It hit me because you felt it. You felt where he was coming from, and you felt exactly what he felt when he wrote that record. And if I'm correct, I think he felt some type of way when he was on a plane, that he felt like the plane wasn't gonna make it to land back down wherever it was, so he wanted to also lay down the song. Again, I'm just paraphrasing
Yeah, based on the lyrics in
off
the
of
record.
what was said on the album. But again, amazing.
But yeah, I mean, as a Eminem fan and a hip hop fan, I mean, what drew me in to M initially was cleaning out my closet. I connected that to that song on such a personal level. Um, as much of us do connect to hip hop because we go through shit growing up, and as I got older and music from all of my favorite artists have matured. Yeah, headlights definitely hit home, and for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people too. So definitely no argument of lack of content there. That was something special. Then you got Evil Twin. Great lyrical track. One of my favorites, but again, content. Not from what we've defined it, right? What
Not
what
from what we
people are
define
defining
as
it
what
as.
quote unquote the content is, right?
Baby. There was no
Just
content in there. That's just again bars for days.
bars for days.
If you're a rap nerd like us, man, I mean, check out Marshall Mathers LP2 again because it's one of his technically best albums, and there's content, spread out throughout, but a lot of songs do, and a lot of songs Don't if we're using again, being objective with it. But great track content though, questionable. Desperation, not a song I liked, but was there content?
Mm,
Touch and go, right? I mean, I wasn't a fan of that song too much, so honestly, I haven't given it too many listens. Um, so that's arguable. Then we have Groundhog Day content there.
I
Song
like.
about bullying again. Overcoming adversity as a coming up in rough situations.
I even think he touches up on Proof about how he was introduced to the music and how he was always excited to lay stuff down to see Proof's expression. Talking about moving around.
Yeah.
I would say to me, my opinion,
Yeah, I mean
there is
that's
content,
content, right? You can talk about personal struggles and issues.
but let's
Beautiful pain
one of my
content.
one of my favorite. You know, I was a bit skeptical too at the time with the feature. The song is amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
The story, the content. I mean,
relatable.
it.
If anybody's ever been through
Yeah, it's
love shit,
getting over and
breakups, getting
just.
over any kind of situation. Um, yeah, man, that was definitely one of my favorites. And then Wicked Ways.
I like it.
I like the track too, but content,
Mm, nah.
it's rapping about rap, right? Which M. So if you look at Marshall Mathers LP, it's split. About half the records are content, half are rapping about rap. But so far, we got Relapse, content's questionable, right? Recovery, can't argue. Marshall Mathers LP is about split. Then we got to go into Revival, which is split. There's a lot of content. People are coining it as quote unquote woke Eminem, which I personally like to see him take that. Is I'm a huge fan of Immortal Technique and Nas and a lot of rappers that take on social issues. So it was Eminem's done it in the past, but not as much as he did on Revival, and for some reason I feel like that turned people off. But there's content there, not throughout, but it's there.
I agree.
All right, and then of course you have the songs that he's just rapping about rap, like Offended.
How about let's touch base on. I know a couple people were a little bit upset about this, but the features. How do you feel about the features that were on Revival?
That's so
I'm gonna be honest.
subjective, bro. For the most part, I like them. The only one I didn't like, to be honest, Beyonce could have been, and I think should have been replaced with Rihanna or Skylar Grey on the record. I know when M was performing that live, it was with Skylar Grey.
I feel like Skylar Grey has played a big part in the features and in the hooks for Need a Doctor and even on
A couple Slaughterhouse records too.
Slaughterhouse, right? Everyone that she's on, I mean, she touches it, it's gold. Again, not taking nothing from Beyonce,
I just feel
but
like that her style, her voice doesn't match
I
M.
feel like, yeah,
But I loved Walk on Water and I'm gonna get shit for this. But I'll take it. The reason why I liked Walk on Water, and I told all this because he ain't like that song. He was one of the haters when that shit came out. But for me, I'm a bit of a perfectionist in things that I do. I want to do it to the best of my ability, and I always feel like there's that pressure there to perform. So I related to it on that level, um, and I enjoyed it. Beyonce, I ain't care for Beyonce musically with M. I just don't feel like the styles match. Again, I feel like Rihanna, Skylar Grey would
and
have been a
I
better.
think that's what kind of like turned my ear off. Again, I know that I wasn't a fan of that song.
Yeah.
But as I won't take away that the content on the song of what he was saying about the expectations and all that, was perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I agree that the song is content whether I chose to listen to it or not. It's just something
Musical
about it.
preference. It just didn't.
Something about it, and I guess it's what you just touched on about Beyonce and M. It's just not fitting. Something's off there.
Yeah, I
It should
just
have
feel
been.
like musically, sonically, didn't vibe well in people's ear. I guess.
Yeah.
Um, the other feature was fresher on Chloroseptic. So this is what we want to talk a little bit about. We won't spend so much time. I didn't know Fresher before this.
Neither did I.
Looked into him a little bit. He's alright. He's not bad. He only did the hook on the original record. I didn't like the original record, and it had nothing to do with Fresher, actually. I wasn't a fan of M's verses on here. Technically, it was there. I just wasn't really feeling what he was saying too much. But then he dropped that remix.
And the remix, that's the funny thing, right? That remix
It was in
started
response to.
started waking up people now because M gave no Fs and just decided to just go off, and it's that anger that fuels him. And I guess to most M fans, it's an ear catch, and he was fed up, and he wasn't trying to please anybody. He said what he wanted to say, and I guess that's what I love about him. Don't sugarcoat it, just rip it.
Yeah.
And he did it.
So, but on the remix, honestly, like, I mean, 2 Chainz verse was lackluster. I wasn't a fan of 2 Chainz verse on there. Fresher did alright. Fresher's verse was decent. And then M just fucking just blew that up.
Yeah.
The remix should have been on the album, but I guess he had to hear, all the shit he got for Revival, and that gave us that remix and a little bit of a foreshadowing to what ended up being Kamikaze.
You know what I'm saying?
Next feature, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
A lot of people were shitting on this one. Me
talk.
and Jay, yeah, we'll definitely talk about this.
I want to talk a little bit about
because we're hip hop nerds, hip hop to the core, but we love music in general, man.
This is definitely not just a one-sided coin. I don't want people to sit there and think that, like G said, that we're stans. I mean, we love M, but also, music in general. I want to talk about a little bit about Mr. Ed Sheeran. Mr. Ed Sheeran is an amazing artist. Whether you're a hip hop fan or not, again, we don't just stick to one type of music. That man is so talented. If you haven't heard his catalog, I recommend you do.
Yeah, singer, songwriter.
I was excited about this feature. I know
so
you
was
too.
I was.
I was excited about this feature. And you know what? Expectations. Blown away.
I feel like they definitely delivered, man.
Blown away. They did no wrong. Ed Sheeran did not tank that song. He made it just as amazing as I expected it to be.
And talk about content.
The content. I mean,
this story.
I guess it goes back to the people, right? People. I don't know if it's, you could say, if you've never been in a situation like that, then you can't relate.
Nah, because we define content as anything personal, right? Something that means something. Something that's saying something about something, storytelling.
It's like a movie, right? You look at a great movie.
I mean, anybody who's had to make that choice, who's been in a relationship where they've had to make a choice of making an abortion. If the concept of that track eluded you, revisit it. There's some deep shit in there. But that feature I love. Again, huge fan of Ed Sheeran's music.
I know a lot of people were kind of shitting on it.
Because hip hop fans aren't necessarily always general music fans, and they consider Ed Sheeran pop. I feel like he blew up, but if you listen to his music, it's not pop. It's not overproduced. It's super stripped down vocals, guitar. But yeah, so that was a polarizing one.
And I mean, there's also a song, right? If anybody thinks that what we're saying is a little far-fetched, I believe it's on the Multiply album, right? It's called Take It Back. I believe it's called Take It Back.
Oh yeah.
And if we could get it cleared, we'll play a little sample right here for you so you can hear that.
I mean, yeah, go look it up. It's called Take It Back by Ed Sheeran. He raps. And he does a pretty fucking good job.
Let's see if we can get a little bit of this. And I mean, this is flow and content, right? Let's go.
I'm not a rapper, I'm a singer with the flow. I've got a habit for spitting quicker lyrics. You find me ripping the writtens out of the page they sit in. I never want to get bitten because plagiarism is hidden. Watch how I sit on the rhythm. Prisoner with a vision, signed to a label but didn't listen to any criticism. Thought you knew but you didn't.
We're just gonna give that little sample.
Yeah, so I mean that was just him rapping. I mean his other music is amazing, but I mean Ed Sheeran, he's an artist, man, and that was a great collab, great track. The next feature was Alicia Keys, which you were not a fan of.
I love Alicia Keys.
On this song.
Again, no. The collab. I'm not a fan of the collab.
Okay. I like the collab. I like Alicia Keys. I like the song initially. I love the idea of it. Again, I love the I'm a big fan of social hip hop, like music that talks about stuff. This was definitely one of them. What I ended up not liking though is, this is a topic for another day. It was kind of like, I know it was downing Trump. It was bigging up America, and that's just a much deeper issue there. I think the song was there though, and that was content. But I was feeling it. I was feeling it for a little while. I liked that song a little bit. The next feature, Ex Ambassadors, who he collabed with on the Marshall Mathers LP2. I love when they get together, man. I think that was a great feature. Bad Husband, great song, content. Next feature was Skylar Grey, Tragic Endings, one of my favorites on the album. And again, Skylar Grey is always good with M.
Always.
Kalani, a lot of people didn't like Nowhere Fast. Another one of my favorite songs on the album. Content there. I love the remix where he addressed the NRA and the gun issues, and all the mass shootings that's been going on. So if you haven't checked out the remix of that, check out the remix of Nowhere Fast. Same song, he just added an extra verse in the beginning to address the NRA directly in that whole issue. And then the other feature was Pink, which people said, why is Pink on the album? They've collaborated multiple times before.
They have on Recovery, correct?
Recovery, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and on some of Pink's joints too.
Yes.
My issue with this song though is I feel like it was more of a Pink song featuring M.
I agree.
Because it was way more Pink than it was M on that. And then In Your Head, Castle, and a Rose, in my opinion, if you listen to them in that order, or out of order, regardless, those are three of his. That's
those
top
are the
notch.
Those are the three
vintage
songs that are amazing, and I put them on repeat constant. Even one track number 2, Believe. I know we skipped that because we were talking about features, but Believe is also a favorite track of mine. But In Your Head, Castles, and a Rose. Content.
Yeah, for sure. So again, objectively looking at M's catalog over the last 10 years, to say he talks about nothing, we can say fairly about 70% of the time he is saying something.
He is.
But he also does have a lot of songs where he's not. He's just, rapping about rap.
But again, not taking away as an artist, because that is a skill set.
Yeah.
Of something different that we love and we accept, but we're just talking about the comments that are made that M lacks content.
Right. So that that argument, playing devil's advocate here. But again, I mean, content is subjective. We try to look at it at from an objective point of view. And I mean, let us know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying in the comments. Do you feel like M doesn't have content or hasn't had content over the last 10 years? If you check out any of the tracks we mentioned, let us know what y'all think, and take a deeper dive, because M's bars are not simple, and they go over a lot of people's heads.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah. But to your point about not to discount the technical skill, absolutely not. As fans of hip hop, we love hearing that shit.
I love it.
So to that point, big up to Crooked Eye, or King Crooked,
hey,
who's been making comments addressing this, and we don't want to lose that importance of the technical skill in hip hop, because that's what makes hip hop great. I mean, even some of the OGs, you got Big L, Kool G Rap, Rakim, like they brought this wordplay, technical flows, multi-syllable rhyming to the game. So to say that's not important too, I mean, I understand if you want that with the content, but to that point, I mean, hip hop historically has been about entertainment too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of MCs that have this style are former battle rappers. And a lot of those contentless songs are they're battle bars. Which a lot of people, or some people find entertaining. And they love hearing that shit. And as hip hop fans, I love to hear complex bars and listening to them and breaking them down and being like, oh shit, they meant this, and that.
Yeah.
They meant these 3 things in 2 bars. You know what I mean? So, but on that note of King Crooked, we just want to make a humorous / very serious RIP to Slaughterhouse.
This broke my heart.
We were huge fans of that group, man. We've seen them live, every time they were in New York.
Anytime they came to New York,
we've seen them. We were there live.
We've seen them front rows, man.
Autographs.
Pictures. I mean, we met a lot of great fans of theirs also.
Yeah, for sure.
And, they have such a great fan base, man. Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Man, you guys.
That was it, man. That was the group. I've been a fan of Joel Ortiz since the Bodega Chronicles, man.
Bodega Chronicles. I know Crooked Eye. I remember listening to Crooked Eye when he was with Death Row.
Yeah, and Royce since Bad Meets Evil on a Slim Shady LP.
Evil, his bar exams.
Forget about it.
Or like Royce is a beast of his own.
Yeah, that's top caliber. Lyricism.
Again.
And then Joe Budden.
And
which
again,
R put me on too.
I'm a huge Joe Budden fan. Huge Joe Budden fan. I think he's an amazing artist. It broke my heart also to hear the insensitive things and his opinions on Eminem, which I disagree with, and I'm sure a lot of you disagree with, and G disagrees with, and that's why we're breaking down this the content of the albums. There's a lot of people going around MGK Budden saying that he's irrelevant. I'm not here to what's the word insult any artist at the moment. At the moment, um, but I just want to get my point across. I was a huge Joe Budden fan, and like I said, what he said broke my heart. Slaughterhouse was an amazing group, amazing lyricist group. Again, we wasn't there to know what happened, but all I have to say is that what Crooked commenting on what Crooked said is all they had to do was just keep putting out music because they were putting out music, and I know we were waiting on Glass House, and for whatever reason, Joey felt the need to stop, whether his personal opinions and his beliefs, stop the production of music, and again, to me that's a little selfless and selfish, because regardless, if you're I get it, you're in there for the money at the end of the day, but at the end of the day you're doing your passion, you're doing what you love. I know some people who will kill just to get their voice out there and get the spotlight that is that you guys have. So to take that and be like, you know what, I'm not doing that. You could have just dropped your albums out and just give it to the fans, whether you're trying to buy out your contract or whatever it is, your disagreements. Do your contract, give the music to the fans, because those are your fans. You can't eat without those. But I get it, we picked other platforms up, whether we doing videos, acting, podcasts. I get it, but again, like Slaughterhouse was an amazing group.
Yeah, as a fan of all four of those people, all four of those great MCs individually, we've been in limbo for a long time. It's bittersweet as a fan to have closure on it. But yeah, man, that was heartbreaking as a hip hop fan. So R.I.P. Slaughterhouse, the greatest rap group, barely known. Um, man, hopefully y'all can reconcile, get together sometime again. But
I would
yeah,
always be up for it.
yeah.
I would always be up for it.
So getting back on track with back to M, because the whole last 2 weeks of hip hop has mainly been M coming to music. Not gonna talk about all that other stuff going on. Strictly with the music. So a lot of people were dissed on Kamikaze. I was expecting Joe to respond out of all of them. I think he's the only one mentioned that could actually give an M a run for his money. For y'all, there's a lot of people sleeping on Joe Budden. If y'all listen to his Mood Music 4.5 specifically, the All Love Lost series, that man could rap his ass off. He got lyrics, he got bars. Out of everybody M called out, he was the one that would give M a run for his money. But it's at this point, it doesn't look like he's gonna respond at all. But surprisingly, MGK, Machine Gun fucking Kelly.
How about that?
That was a shocker.
That actually made me laugh, and there's a lot that I got on that man.
Well, yeah, we're about to get into it. As a hip hop fan, I remember when MGK first came out. That Invincible track featuring
Invincible
Esther Dean.
track,
I like
yes.
that track, yo. I was a fan of that.
I was a fan of that track.
His first album was pretty dope. Lace Up.
Yeah.
Honestly, he fell off the radar for me. After that, I haven't followed him much. I've heard him on features. I did hear his feature on Tech Nine's song that Eminem is responding to on Out of Like. People think Rap Devil and Killshot was round one. That was actually round two. We'll get into that as well. I don't feel like that's being talked about. But yeah, man. I mean, initial reactions on Rap Devil. There was a lot of behind the scenes things, regarding Haley's, that comments on Haley and all that stuff. But let's fast forward again to the music portion of it. MGK's been taking subliminal shots at M for a while through freestyles, various tracks. Most recently, on the song with Tech Nine, and so that's where the shots was. He made, I don't have the lyrics in front of me. He made some bars along the lines of, "You gonna need a doctor," and I'm not talking about the one from Compton, obviously referencing Dr. Dre. He had another couple bars where he said something along the lines of, "Y'all just rap, you're not gods," obviously reference to Eminem's Rap God. So I mean that that is what triggered the response on Not Alike.
Well, I'm pulling it up because if we're gonna quote, I wanna have
Yeah,
exact quote.
let's get the bar breakdown right now.
All right, so let's see. I pop
Excuse us while
cherries.
we look it up.
I pop cherries and porn stars. You popsicles is not hard. Popping on the top charts out the cop car to remind y'all you just rap. You're not God. And I don't care who got bars. Um, what else? I'm trying to skimmage through this. Right in the beginning of the verse, he says it's only one option. You're gonna need a doctor. And I ain't talking about the one from Compton. Arms, feet, legs all gone like I'm Don Corleone. And so on. He goes on. Again, those are subliminals, right? Talking about Dr. Dre because he's from Compton and that said person is gonna need a doctor and not that person.
You know what bothers me about that? Now that you like break the lyrics,
What's that?
I don't care who got bars. You're an MC, bro.
This is the thing, and I feel like rap is moving more towards this. It's not about bars.
That's yeah. We'll tune in on the next episode for that. that's a whole beast on its own to tackle. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So that is why M responded. It had nothing to do. I mean, it had something to do with the Haley issue years ago. But you know, in Rap Devil, Machine Gun Kelly was like, "Oh, it took you 6 years and a surprise album to respond." Like, no. He's and M said it on his interview. He responded. He dissed you for a much pettier reason, and that was because of that verse on that Tech Nine track. That was Not Alike real quick. But I'm gonna pull up those lyrics because I feel like a lot of these lyrics went over people's heads. I don't feel like there should have been a round two. M didn't have to respond to Rap Devil. Let's break down the bars from Not Alike. Eminem's diss to Machine Gun Kelly on Kamikaze. Straight off the bat from the beginning of the verse. You say you affiliated with murderous killers. The people you run with are thuggin'. But you just a wannabe gunner like you was gonna do something. Acting like you catching bodies. But you got juice, little youngin', you buggin'. You ain't never even been charged in connection with battery. Bitch, you ain't plugged into nothing. Again. Yo, those charged battery bars, that's bars right there. He's talking about Machine Gun Kelly right off the jump. Basically calling him a fake gangster. I don't know about Machine Gun Kelly's life. I know he had it rough. He was in the streets. Whether he was a gangster or not, I don't know. But he's going at him here, calling him out for being, a fake gangster and hitting him with the bars. He goes on, rap gods spit lyrical bullets and gats cocked, their partners better tool up. This has not to do with muscular, but have guns for sure. You better put a strap on. In other words, if you're gonna roll up with your gang, you're gonna need an arsenal, cause this bar is over your head, so you better have arms if you're gonna pull up.
And this is a segment that we like to call Break the Bars Down.
Bars.
And that's exactly what we're doing. We're comparing the bars, and at the same time, we're giving you a little insight on, in case you don't know, of the things that were said and M's response and how technical it is more than what it is.
So let's break it down. This has not to do with muscular, but have guns for sure. He's not talking about the guns on your arms. He's saying if you're talking all this, you better have guns for real.
You know that saying, like, you came to see the gun show and then you got people flexing. We ain't talking about those type
right?
of guns.
And then he goes on, you better put a strap on. In other words, if you're gonna roll up with your gang, you need an arsenal because this bar's over your head. So you better have arms if you're gonna pull up. That's a double entendre. In case people miss this, he's talking about better have an arsenal of guns if you're gonna pull up. Literally, like, you're talking all that, so you better have it if you're gonna pull up. But at the same time, the bar that he's spitting is going over people's heads, as in a literal bar over your head. So you're gonna need arms to pull up.
I don't know how else I could explain that. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
anybody been
as
to
in
the
the
gym
exercise,
lately?
pull up.
Anybody's been to the gym?
Yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bars, like, come on, bars. How you gonna compare that to what was spit on Tech Nines?
Never climbed no monkey bars?
You know what I mean? He killed that. He killed it. He goes on, oh, you want to run the streets, huh? Now you want to come with me, huh? This little cocksucker, he must be feeling himself. He wants to keep up his tough demeanor. So he does a feature, decides to team up with Nina, but next time you don't gotta use Tech 9 if you're gonna come at me with a submachine gun. Referencing, again, the song that R just spoke about and reference those bars. Again, double entendre here, play on words with Tech Nine's name. Tech Nine being a type of submachine gun. That's kind of self-explanatory.
And just to, I don't want to cut you off, G, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in case anybody's interested in hearing the lyrics that I was quoting from the Tech Nine song, it's called No Reason.
Yeah, Tech Nine featuring Machine Gun Kelly. Moving on, next bars. And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly.
One of my favorite bars right there.
I feel like nobody's talking about this. I've seen reaction videos to Not Alike, and nobody seems to be catching this, and it's shocking. Yes, it's spelled R. Kelly, as in A-R-E Kelly. But the way he says it in the rhyme, his cadence to it, he pronounces R specifically hard to compare Machine Gun Kelly to R. Kelly. Like the dirty R. Kelly.
And why is that?
Because Machine Gun Kelly, when he made that comment about Haley, saying Haley's hot, super hot, no disrespect to M because he's the king, something along those lines. Machine Gun Kelly was about 22 years old, 21 maybe. Haley was 16. You're dirty.
And what happened with R. Kelly? What did he get? What happened with R. Kelly? Something about an underage
Little
girl,
girls.
right?
That shit ain't cool, bro. I know Kelly said it had nothing to do with sexual content, but let's be real, all the men out there, if you call a girl hot, I mean,
You're thinking. You
I hear crickets in this room. You hear the crickets? The crickets feel us. So yeah, I mean this alone was hard. I'm sorry. You get called R. Kelly, bro, you dirty. And he goes on, I don't use sublims, and sure as fuck don't sneak this. Keep commenting on my daughter Haley. I keep on telling motherfuckers, bitches, in case you forgot, really. I need y'all memories. Honestly, some lines about strawberry, pineapple, apricot jelly, which I don't get. So I would actually have to look those up. If anybody gets those bars, comment below, because those actually went over my head. Then he goes on, I'm trying to look for the other one, where he says something about, here we go, demigod, let me put a silencer on this little non-threatening blonde fairy cornball taking shots at me. You not ready, fool, break yourself like Rocksteady crew. So he's putting a silencer on a little non-threatening blonde, referring to Machine Gun Kelly. Putting a silencer because his name is Machine Gun Kelly, like a silencer on a gun, also quieting him. Double entendres again. Bars. So that, I mean, the rest of it he just goes off. It's no longer. I mean, he refers to something you'll be taking about. You'll be talking about Fetty Wap, Better Call Diddy, just try to get me off. And he goes on. But as far as like double entendres and hard hitting bars, that was pretty much it. So I mean, let's compare. Technically, round one, it was that the Tech Nine feature and Not Alike.
I feel like
I don't feel like there's a competition.
I feel like if it's like comparing, a bicycle to a car. And to elaborate, like the way that he provoked it attention, and if I'm correct, I believe Machine Gun Kelly was actually a big M fan, right? Because I've seen tweets and videos of him, praising M and all that, and then for him to come out and pretty much sneak this, subliminally M for some reason. I don't know why he even wanted to do that, especially if you said something and you're in the wrong. Why would you provoke it?
I mean, so that brings us to round two. Rap Devil versus Killshot.
I have the lyrics
For
right
Rap Devil. I mean, there's not a lot to break down. A lot of what he says is pretty self-explanatory. He has a couple bars in there. I'm gonna admit.
This is the thing. The diss is it's an okay diss. I'm not gonna take it from him.
I'd give it a little bit better than okay.
But I say okay because now, what did he really say that was to put it up there at such a high rate for you? I say it's okay because pretty much what he claims is facts, and the things that he was saying are all stupid little comments. Okay, like for instance, somebody grabs him some clippers. His fucking beard is weird.
Nah, that was a whack opening.
Right?
For anybody defending that, saying that's a reference to the business track on the Eminem show, stop it.
Tough talk from a rapper paying millions for security a year. Again, as big as you are, right? You can't just walk around. Like I can't be Eminem walking around.
To play devil's advocate real quick, I mean it's a battle, right? So that bar is, I mean, he got him a little bit with that because I mean M does talk, tough talk, but again it's lyrical. So Kelly's trying to take that lyrical side and make it actual. And M talks a lot, whatever. He's surrounded by security. I get you 100%. Do I think that was a tough diss? It was alright.
Right? I think my dad's going crazy. Yeah, Haley, you right. Referring to I think my dad's going crazy off the Eminem show.
Right.
Right. Again, still says her name. Right. But that's besides the point.
That wasn't in a disrespectful
I know.
way.
But my thing is, if
Stop saying her name, bro.
That's my thing. Stop.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Dad's always mad, cooped up in the studio, yelling at the mic. What's the problem? I don't see nothing wrong there.
I mean, he's just he's just teasing him. That's more.
But hold on. Let me finish this whole verse, right? You're sobered and bored, huh? About to be 46-year-old dog talking about I'm gonna call up Trick, man. You sound like a bitch. All right, so you're saying his age. What the hell does that have to do anything about it, right? Telling him he's sober and bored. Why? Because he's picking a fight with him, or is he mad because M replied to the sneak diss that he started, right? And the comments that he started. So to me, again, it sounds like Machine Gun Kelly is the one who started this, and he's mad that M's replying because he made the comment about Haley, and on top of that, you sneak diss M. So what are you mad about? Now you're mad because M said something about you? He didn't even dedicate a whole song to you.
So when you get to the part where he talks about the behind the scenes shit that M pulled, I'll play devil's advocate.
All right.
And address that.
What else? He's like, you mad about something I said in 2012 took you 6 years and a surprise album just to come with a diss. Homie, we get it. We know you're the greatest rapper alive. So he's admitting it, right? And that's we'll break that down again. Then this is the best part. Fucking dweeb. All you do is read the dictionary and stay inside.
Yeah, that I don't know how.
So hold on, because we're almost done with the verse, and I didn't hear shit yet.
Well, basically, right now, all he said is you're old and you're
read the dictionary, you're bored,
and you yell a lot.
And you yell, right? That's supposed to give him brownie points, right?
I mean, the dictionary. I'm gonna rebut this right now because I think it's hilarious. That's M's mastery of the craft.
I feel like that's critiquing him from doing that is like saying, hey, you know what? You're too good at your job.
Yeah.
What? This is what I get paid the millions for.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I am nasty at what I do.
You should know words.
So, fucking rap god, I'm the rap devil, coming barefaced with a black shovel. Like the Armageddon when the smoke settled, his body's next to this instrumental.
That was alright.
Yeah, that's probably like the best bar.
Nah,
out of the whole verse.
Nah, that verse, yeah.
So, we should just start the verse with the whole fucking rap god, I'm the rap devil, come barefaced with the black shovel, like Armageddon when the smoke settled, his body's next to this instrumental.
That definitely would have been a harder way to start it than get him some clippers.
Grab the clippers, his fucking beard is weird. Holy shit, somebody never watched Vikings. What's the problem with the beard, bro? You mad because you can't grow one? I don't know what's going on. Right? And then his hook. Mind you, hook has auto-tune. I've been tired of auto-tune since auto-tune came out.
Oh, yeah.
And that was years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised Jay ain't kill that DOA.
You know what I'm saying? I
think that would have been enough, but apparently not.
But,
but yeah.
Talking, and the hook is, just saying that he's sick of his sweatsuits and his hats. He's sick of him being rich and still being mad.
Yeah, money don't buy happiness, people.
They're both single dads and they can talk about it, or they could get gully and all of a sudden now he's going to size up his body and put some white chalk around it. I'm assuming murder him. Which...
Lyrically.
Which...
Hip-hop.
You know, okay. You know? Now, this is probably the part you're going to want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Verse 2. Let's talk about the fact that you actually blackboard a rapper that's twice as young as you. Let's call Sway and ask why I can't go on Shade 4-5 because of you. Let's ask Interscope how you had Paul Rosenberg trying to shelf me. Still can't cover up the fact your last 4 albums is as bad as your selfie. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about.
Alright, so
bars.
Again, playing devil's advocate. So when it comes to battle, a lot of things. I mean, it's just kind of like what Pusha did to Drake, right? Lyrically, Duppy was better than Story of Adidon. Adidon hit hard though with facts. When it comes to a battle, if you could hit hard enough with facts, that'll override someone's lyrics. For just the sake of being lyrical, because this is battle. So I mean, the measuring stick is a little bit different when you're talking about a battle. Now this is some inside information not privy to the public. So when I first heard this, I was like, oh shit, like that's different. That's news to us, right? So whenever the public gets hit with something like that, it's gonna have that initial reaction. Now to address what actually happened, we don't know. Eminem denies calling Interscope to call Diddy to have this conversation that Machine Gun references. Machine Gun Kelly says it happened both on the track and on the Breakfast Club interview that he did this past week.
Horrible.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But it's hearsay. From a fan's perspective, it's possible that M did do that. Shouldn't have said anything about his fucking daughter. And according to M, he asked for a public apology, which he weren't willing to give. Which Machine Gun Kelly wasn't willing to give. So that's where we're at with that. As far as a fan goes, to just hear something like behind the scenes brought to the public, it has this initial reaction. Like when I first heard Rap Devil, I thought, oh shit, this is pretty decent. It's a pretty good diss. Because of that, the inside information that he exposed, whether it's true or not, we don't know. We will never know. But still, it's something that he got people talking about. And just the fact that he, of all people, is not the one I was expecting to respond to M. And for someone to have the balls to do that, I may not be a fan of Machine Gun Kelly's music,
I respect it.
Big up to Machine Gun Kelly for taking that stand. And stepping up to the plate to battle M. And I think just that shock of, oh shit, somebody's really sticking up to battle M, was that initial shock as a fan. I'm like, oh shit, he's stepping up, and it's not that bad. And I was really curious to see what M was gonna come back with. So that's why I say it was a little bit better than average. If you break down the bars and what he's really talking about,
I mean, honestly, my opinion,
he's not saying
those
much.
last two bars of the first verse was okay.
Yeah.
The rest of that verse was just not appealing to me. The second verse, again, him saying what he said about behind the scenes, like G was saying, we don't know. It's interesting to bring that up, but again, we don't know, right? So you get some points, but again, we don't know the answer to it, so I can't give you full points.
Oh, and the trick line. Real quick, I want to address that real quick. I mean, this is hip hop, right? We all know a lot of these artists have street connections. A lot of artists are too big to be in the street. M is one of them. Trick is his ear to the streets in Detroit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it. You're calling M a bitch for saying he's gonna get another man to check you, but
let's just say that M doesn't need.
It is what it is.
He doesn't need nobody to check you. As you clearly see, and we're gonna touch up. I just want to finish up these bars real quick and get on to the next one, and we can talk about some other stuff. He's talking about his last 4 albums are bad. We just had a whole little conversation about the bars and about the content off the album, so I don't know what's bad, but
I mean, you could say Relapse was bad just because that's a popular opinion of the last few albums, but you're not going to tell me Marshall Mathers LP2, Revival. I'm sorry. So 2 out of the last 4 albums you can argue were bad. Revival and Relapse. I don't think you can say Recovery and Marshall Mathers LP2 were bad.
Fast forwarding up to the last verse, on verse 3, when he's like, hello Marshall, my name is Coulson. You should go back to Recovery. I know your ego is hurting. Just knowing that all your fans discover me.
Right. So if you've never heard, which a lot of people have never heard of Machine Gun Kelly before, Rap Devil.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comments, everybody talking. The general public did not know who Machine Gun Kelly was before this. So I think that's what he's saying. Like, now your fans are gonna discover me. So now all the Eminem fans who are tuning into this beef, they're gonna know who Machine Gun Kelly is. Which he has a point.
Look what you done to me. Dropped an album just because of me. Dang, you in love with me. So you're telling me in his mind, he thinks that M dropped Kamikaze and the whole album is dedicated to him.
Yeah, that's a reach.
That's a little.
Stan, we'll get into it later.
And then I feel like again the ending where he I think on verse 4, because mind you, he had to throw hooks into this. Okay.
It was a song.
he dropped the song and not an OG diss record, but it's cool. I felt it was petty to say that there's a difference between us. I got all my shit without Dre producing me. I feel like there's
valid point.
But like, what does that even mean? Again, coming up at the times when M came up.
I see what you're saying though.
I'm saying the worth. The worth is different.
Yeah,
if I was to go back there.
But his shit is he has his career without a cosign, and M had Dre's cosign to benefit him. That's the only point he's making.
but I don't feel like it's a
It's
well.
alright. It's alright mentioned in the battle. Like,
I don't see that on there.
I mean, it's not great, but decent point.
It's not the caliber of a diss that I would expect. That to make me say, wow, you putting them in.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with
and
that.
we're gonna touch base on that because Killshot is amazing in every way, more than just a diss. And then the last part, you dropped the album called Kamikaze, so that means he killed him. Already fucked one rapper's girl this week. Don't make me call Kim.
That was the hardest line in the whole diss. It was super disrespectful. That shit had made my jaw drop. Like, oh,
it's funny because I feel like he's reaching. Really?
It's a battle. Look.
Really?
Straight hip hop. And when it comes to a battle, nothing's gonna be for real. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
hip hop is an art in battle. Even in battle rappers, you go back to fucking Reed Dollars and Murder Mook and these battle rappers. They talking about tearing each other up in front of each other's faces. They're not gonna do it literally. It's figurative, metaphorical
I know
language.
the difference, like in a rap battle and that. But I'm saying you're putting it on wax, and that's as hard as you come. I'm gonna fuck your bitch.
Well, he put it on
No.
wax that he fucked G-Eazy's bitch.
Yeah, but ain't she back with Ain't she back with him?
Yes.
So
Which is why he's
all right,
salty.
but what
Because
the
Young
fuck you
Gerald
mad?
is balls deep in Horsley.
You're mad at your girlfriend because of the person she fucked before you.
So about that, before we get into Killshot, I just want to give a shout out to underrated diss, which was G-Eazy's response,
G-Eazy response,
which was surprising.
was actually, you know what? I want to see G-Eazy more in that light. Maybe I just live for the drama, but I'm just saying, like, I think that brought out a side of G-Eazy that we haven't seen.
So again,
I like it.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick. G-Eazy MC, he's alright. I recently revisited his catalog. He got some sleepers in there. He makes great music. I wouldn't consider him a great MC. He does have some great songs. He does have some bars, so he's worth a listen. That diss track was surprising. On that note, what he addresses in that, do you know the name of it? You got people to check that out because nobody's talking about this diss, and it's pretty decent.
Well, I heard that on the Breakfast Club, Machine Gun Kelly said he acknowledged it and that they all laughed.
Well, it was over Twitter, and that was why I was gonna come in and play devil's advocate here. So G-Eazy references a situation they had when they were touring together, where G-Eazy was jumped, and then he pressed Machine Gun Kelly when he seen him in person, and apparently Machine Gun Kelly was soft when he pressed him. G-Eazy explains it in the track. R's looking it up now.
It's
once
called
he gets it.
Bad Boy.
All right, Bad Boy by G-Eazy. Y'all look it up. Check it out. It's G-Eazy's response to... apologize for that. G-Eazy's response to Machine Gun Kelly. Check that out. But yeah. Interesting. Go take a look at it. So now, let's get back to the end of round 2 and what ended up being the end of this battle for fucking good reason. Killshot.
Oh.
We were waiting for this anxiously. When it finally dropped, R texted me immediately. Yo, he responded. Here's the link. Boom. I think I replayed it multiple times. So let's get into it.
First,
a lot of people...
Let's talk about the record that it broke. Right?
Oh, yeah.
3.6 million or something.
I don't know. Let's get the exact number if we're going to quote numbers.
Let's see. Real quick, right?
It was the biggest hip-hop debut video on YouTube. And it wasn't even a video. It was a freaking art image and a diss record. Just put that into perspective. It broke Childish Gambino's This Is America and Kanye West and Lil Pump's... What's the name of that song? Love?
I Love It?
Yeah, I Love It.
The one that he dropped with Kanye?
Yeah. So before that, those were the two top hip-hop videos, debuts on YouTube. Killshot killed those two.
But let's also, before we let go of Rap Devil, if we check, I could have swore that it's also not only his name, but also somebody else's name.
So Devil's Advocate. Have you listened to the Breakfast Club interview yet?
I've seen
Machine Gun Kelly?
I've seen some of it.
I saw the whole thing. So there's a lot of hearsay. Touch on this real quick because I do want to talk about the Breakfast Club interview a little bit more depth in a little while. But those ghostwriting credits he's saying are not accurate. He's also saying the boos were edited into that video. Here's the thing, when it comes to the behind the scenes shit, like the whole blackball accusation and all that, we don't know what the fuck is true. You can edit anything nowadays. Whether it was a ghostwriter, a co-writer or not, it doesn't matter because we're about to break down Killshot. and he just shuts Rap Devil down. And this is objectively looking at the bars. A lot of people saying M could have gone harder. He absolutely could have. Kill Shot was more of a rebuttal, which nullified anything that was said in Rap Devil. So if we're ready to get into it, Kill Shot, bar for bar. Rihanna just hit me on a text last night. I left hickeys on her neck. That's rebutting Machine Gun Kelly's comments on Rap Devil, where he said Eminem was too nervous and not even the type to ask Rihanna for her number. Not to get gossipy, but way back when Eminem and Rihanna did collaborate, there were rumors going around about that. So that's rebutting that point. Back to the lyrics. Wait, you just dissed me? I'm perplexed. Insult me in the line, compliment me on the next. How many times did Machine Gun Kelly call Eminem the GOAT on Rap Devil? 2, 3 times?
Yeah, about 2.
Right? So, yeah. You're dissing the man, but you also complimenting him. Damn, I'm real sorry you want me to have a heart attack. Was watching 8 Mile on my Nordic track. Nordic track is a very fucking expensive treadmill. Referencing Machine Gun Kelly's line where he says last time you saw 8 Mile was on your treadmill. Realize I forgot to call you back. Here's that autograph for your daughter. I wrote it on a starter cap. That is one of the hardest lines that nobody's reacting to.
That line went over a lot of people's heads.
I was watching reaction videos to Kill Shot, and when it got to that line, people were just like, they kept nodding their head, like they ain't hear some shit. So let me break that down for you. Please. That line, here's the autograph for your daughter, I wrote it on a starter cap, is a direct reference to the song Stan from the first Marshall Mathers LP, where in that, he is, in the last verse, addressing Stan, who is an over-obsessed Eminem fan, and he realizes he had missed multiple letters from his fan, begging for him to reply, and he writes back something along the lines of, sorry I missed you guys at the concert, he's an autograph for your little brother, I wrote it on a starter cap. In Kill Shot, he says, here's that autograph for your daughter, I wrote it on a starter cap. He's essentially calling Machine Gun Kelly a stan.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean...
And that's why right after that, the next 2 sentences out of his mouth
right.
are what?
Stan, son, listen, man, dad isn't mad, but how you gonna name yourself after a damn gun and have a man bun?
He's calling him Stan.
Right?
And
so that starter cap line had way more meaning, and I feel like it was going over a lot of, people's heads, so definitely want to bring attention to that. Because I was watching these reaction videos, and I was like, are you not old enough to know what Stan is? And even as a hip-hop fan, you should, even if you're not an Eminem fan, you should know Stan.
You should.
That's like a classic song. So yeah, called him Stan. Waiting for his reply, anxiously. Overly obsessed fan, waiting for him to reply. Then he makes the man bun line, haha, funny. The giant woke, eyes open, undeniable, supplying smoke, got the fire stoked. That's responding to Machine Gun Kelly's line of Rap Devil, where he says, I'll supply the smoke, but you'll choke. Or he says something like that. Say you got me in a scope, but you grazed me. I say 1/4 in the scope, and you Swayze.
Another line that's...
Right.
That I think actually some fans actually discovered.
Yeah, it was something to do. I think the date Kill Shot dropped was the anniversary of Patrick Swayze's death.
Yes.
Right? So Patrick Swayze, again, for all you youngins listening, was famous for a old classic movie called Ghost, where Patrick Swayze played a ghost, who was a love interest with a woman. Not gonna get into the movie, not important. The main point is Swayze was a ghost. So I say 1/4 Interscope and you're Swayze. That's basically him denying he made that call to Interscope, saying if I would have made that call, you would have been gone.
Yeah.
You would have been ghost.
And he dropped the diss track on September 14th, the same day that I think Patrick Swayze passed away.
Yeah, and also, that reminds me, thank you for reminding me, Kill Shot is the name of a movie. I did not know this. Shout out to the fans or whoever else posted this, because I seen this in comments, and I was like, wow. Kill Shot is the name of a movie where a character named Coulson, which is Machine Gun Kelly's real name, gets hunted down and killed by a marshal.
Police marshal, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And they're referencing, since Machine Gun Kelly's name is Coulson.
Right. And Marshall being Marshall
Mathers. And the name of the movie was called Kill Shot. I think it came out 2008. When I checked up.
Again, there's even meaning in the damn title of the song. But I say 1/4 Interscope and you Swayze. That's what he's saying. And the line prior to that, I say you say you got me in the scope, but you grazed me, was in response to Machine Gun Kelly's line saying, I'm the gunner, I got you in the scope. So basically, like, yo, you took your shot, but you got me. Like, Eminem acknowledges that, you took your shot, you called me, but you grazed me. You ain't laying your hit. Um, and he has a couple lines over here. You reply, got your crowd yell at woo. So before you die, let's see who can outpetty who. Corny line, Slimmy, old Kelly, ooh. But I'm 45 and still outselling you. By 29, I had 3 albums that it blew. That's just, again, responding to Machine Gun Kelly with the oldness. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all Machine Gun Kelly was saying on Rap Devil a lot was you're old. So to respond, you know, I'm twice your age, but I'm still outselling you. And his first 3 albums were bonafide classics: the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show.
Diamond.
Yeah,
I think,
classics.
if not 2 of those, or if not, at least 2 in Diamond.
So complete shutdown to not only the age comment, but to Machine Gun Kelly's career. Now let's talk about something I don't really do. Going with someone's daughter's mouth, stealing food, but you're fucking molehill, and I'm gonna make a mountain out of you. Again, denying he made that call, denying he tried to blackball Machine Gun Kelly. Though honestly, I do believe he did blackball him from Shady 45. That was never addressed. I don't. But Eminem is denying that he tried to blackball him from Interscope.
Well, Shady owns right.
Yeah, Shady 45, the radio.
So I mean, I could see it. You know what I'm saying? Of him, you know, you got disrespectful and you're not allowed on my show. A lot of places do that. I don't feel like M would pay to to keep this man off of the clubs and off. I don't feel like M is that petty to stop his motion, Machine Gun's motion.
We don't know, and it was his daughter, and you know, M is ride or die for his daughter for real, which is, you know, one of the things we love about him when it comes to family. But yeah, so he's again just denying those claims, whether it's true or not, we don't know. Playing devil's advocate, who the hell knows? But he's denying them. This line also was sick. Ho, chill, acting like you put the chrome barrel to my bone marrow. Gunna, bitch, you ain't even a bow and arrow.
That's funny.
Say you'll run up on me like a phone bill, spraying lead, playing dead. That's the only time you hold still. Double entendre. He's talking about, you know, obviously, you know, you're seeing names Machine Gun Kelly, you're not even a gun, bow and arrow, self-explanatory. Following line, run up on you with a phone bill, spraying lead, playing dead is the only time you hold still. So that's a double entendre, as playing dead is the only time you hold still, like literally playing dead, not moving. And also, you're talking all that, you know, about you gonna run up on me, but hold still as a metaphor for a gun. The only time you hold still is when you're playing dead, right? Again, kind of going back to what he was saying on Not Alike, you know, saying he's fake, he's not a gangster, and he ain't about that life. So rebutting that. The next couple lines are hilarious. That had me dying when I first heard it. Are you eating cereal or oatmeal? What the fuck's in the bowl? Milk? Wheaties or Cheerios? Because I'm taking a shit in them, Kelly. I need reading material. Dictionary. So in the video of Rap Devil, for some weird fucking reason, Machine Gun Kelly was eating out of a bowl. We don't know what's in the bowl.
I don't know what it is. I want to ask the same question.
But after Killshot, M definitely shitted in them. And the dictionary line was just funny. Again, kind of just like, what's wrong with reading a fucking dictionary, or, you know, MCs. The last couple lines were lackluster, honestly. The whole, you know, 4 albums sucked. Go back to recovery. Oh shit, that was 3 albums ago. Know your facts. Average. Luxury. Oh, you broke, bitch. Yeah, I had enough money in '02 to burn in front of you, ho. Younger me, know you the whack me. That was funny. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you. Again, just rebutting the age. Yeah, I mean, he started off strong. When he got to these bars, I was like, you know, these were average bars, especially by Eminem standards. But he's, again, he basically rebutted Rat Devil in this. Younger me, know you to whack me. Can still fill a whole page with a 10-year-old's rage. Got more fans than you in your own city. Little kitty go play. Feel like I'm babysitting Lil Tay. That was funny. If you look up Lil Tay. Yeah. Just if you don't know who Lil Tay is, that was just a funny ass line. Then we get back into the shits. Got the Diddy okay, so you spent your whole day shooting a video just to fucking dig your own grave. So in the video of Rap Devil, he has a shovel. So he's basically referencing that. Like, you made that video with a shovel, you're basically digging your own grave because now this is what you got. Yep. Right? Now you getting kill shot. Got you at your own wake. I'm the Billy Goat. You ain't never made a list next to no Biggie, no J. Billy Goat reference to being the GOAT, greatest of all time. Machine Gun Kelly's never made a, you know, top list next to, you know, B.I.G., Jay-Z. But next to Taylor Swift and that Iggy hole, you about to really blow Kelly. They'll be putting your name next to Ja, next to Benzino, die motherfucker, like the last motherfucker saying Haley in vain. These bars were hard. For those of y'all who wasn't around for the big Murder Inc. versus Shady G Unit beef, Ja Rule and Benzino were known to have been destroyed. Specifically Benzino. Ja Rule was a joint effort, but that's because Ja Rule was dissing everybody and their mother, so everybody got involved. But these are two people whose career is contributed to being ended by Eminem. The next lines are the ones that I'm talking about that were hard. Like the last motherfucker saying Haley in vain. Or that motherfucker like the last motherfucker saying Haley in vain. That's a reference to a song called Go to Sleep. It was a diss record, Eminem featuring DMX. Obi was on that, right?
Yeah.
Obi Trice. Yeah. So if you check that song out called Go to Sleep, that was a reference back to that. And the last motherfucker saying Haley in vain was Ja Rule, and we know what happened there.
Who?
Alien brain, referring to his alien brain, and then he calls Machine Gun Kelly a Satanist, which I thought was fucking hilarious. And then my biggest flops are your greatest hits. The game's mine again, ain't nothing changed but the locks. So before I say this, bitch, I moi give Jade a kiss. Bars again. The game's mine again, ain't nothing changed but the locks. That's a double entendre, meaning literal locks on the rap game, and also locks the rap group, Jadakiss, Styles P, Sheik Luch, three of the best to ever do it. So before I say this, I want to give Jade a kiss, referencing Jadakiss, member of the Locks, and Jade, Haley Jade's name. So again, before he finishes off saying Gun Kelly, he's gonna go give his daughter a kiss. Double entendres, bars, them shits was hard. Next couple bars were, gotta wake up, labor bait to this. Being rich shamed by some prick using my name for clickbait. In a state of bliss cause I said his goddamn name, now I got a cock back aim. Yeah, bitch, pop champagne to this. Those were hard. Rich shamed? I've never heard that term. That was funny. He basically, MGK was basically fucking getting at him for being rich. Using his name for clickbait, which he said in Kamikaze in like the first couple bars. I mentioned you. You mentioned me, millions of views. I mentioned you, lose for me, right? So he basically proving that point that he made. And then the pop champagne of this. If y'all didn't see the reaction video, the people who were dissed on Kamikaze, when Machine Gun Kelly was playing that song, he was popping champagne in his hotel when he heard that. So that was a reference to that video, which I thought was tough. That was clever. It's your moment. This is as big as you're gonna get, so enjoy it. It has to give you a career to destroy it.
Oh,
hard.
That's
hard. And he kind of proved it because I don't think Benj is doing too well.
We're gonna touch that.
We'll touch that. Lethal Injection, Go to Sleep, 6 feet deep. I'll give you a B for the effort, but if I was 3'11", you'd look up to me, and for the record, you would suck a dick to fucking be me for a second. Disrespectful, hard battle bars right there. This is the shit, the bugged out shit. A fan pointed this out. I seen this in a comment. So shout out to whoever fan discovered this. Fucking creepy, bro. Google 6B311. 6B311. We're Googling. Because I did this and something creepy came up. So if you look up 6B311, it's a Nordic flight. It's a flight number. Nordic is the brand he referenced was his treadmill. Right? And it was something about the date of the flight. The date of the flight was September 21st, which was the date Machine Gun Kelly was supposed to drop Binge. What the holy fuck?
So planned, like.
I don't know if that was a weird ass coincidence or if Eminem really looked up fucking flights on September 20.
All these
like,
coincidences.
How do you do that?
If they're more than just coincidences, bro, you are more of a genius than I thought you were.
Again, oh shit, 6B311, Nordic flight, referencing the name of his fucking treadmill is a Nordic track, and the flight date of that flight number is September 21st, which is the date Binge was set to drop, Machine Gun Kelly's recent EP. Crazy. Whoever the fuck figured that out, fucking rap genius needs to hire you. Liquor ball sack to get on my channel. Just a bunch of more disrespectful lines. Hard for battle. This motherfucker shit is like Rambo when he's out of bullets. So what good is a fucking machine gun when it's out of ammo? Self-explanatory. Clever bar there. Had enough of this tatted up mumble rapper. How the fuck can him and I battle? Have to fuck him in my flannel. That was hilarious to me. And I'll give him my sandals because as long as he knows I'm shady, he's gonna have to live in my shadow. Self-explanatory metaphor. His name is Shady. Machine Gun Kelly's always gonna live in shady shadow. Not much there to break down, but hard bars. Exhausting, letting off on my offspring. That's another bar I feel like people missed. He's calling Machine Gun Kelly his offspring. Like, yo, I birthed you. I gotta let off on you. Lick a gun barrel, bitch. Get off me. You salty because Young Gerald's balls deep inside a Hall sleeve. That's referencing the whole.
That's referencing Mr. G Easy.
Yes, sir. Fashion versus rapping better. That a death threat or love letter. That was funny again, referencing the back and forth. This is one of your favorite lines. Oh, little white toothpick. Think it's over a pick. I just don't like you, prick.
I just like. I just don't like you, prick. That made me laugh, bro.
That upfront blunt M from
straight up. I just don't like you.
From the old days. What's the next couple bars? Thanks for dissing me. He had a reason for dropping out of like. I don't care who's in the right, but you lose in the fight you pick. Oh, that was a play on the toothpick from earlier. I just caught that. Well, there you go. Bars. Who else won it? Kel's attempt fails. Button L's. Referencing to Button not responding. Automatic L. Fucking nails in these coffin as soft as cotton L. If you don't get that reference, again, look up Nail in the Coffin.
It's another diss record.
To Benzino. One of the hardest diss records. Check that out. So he was referencing that. Saying, but these coffins are soft as cotton L. So he's like, yo, y'all softer than Benzino. Kill shot, I will not fail. These are the controversial lyrics. Kill shot, I will not fail. I'm with the doc still. But this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. Referencing Puff, saying Puff pops pills and tells Machine Gun Kelly that he has skills. But Kells, the day you put out a hits, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed.
Oof. Everybody knows if you don't. Controversy of Diddy supposedly putting the hit out on Pac.
I mean, if you've seen the documentary too, the detectives did press Diddy about that murder. Diddy also, from what I've seen, again, refuses to discuss those allegations even in the past. It's been a big rumor in the hip hop world for a long time. Of course, sadly, we do not know, what happened to the late great Tupac Shakur. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But that was a hell of a line. Eminem had some balls for that one.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's vintage M.
But here's my thing, and this goes a little bit deeper with this with that bar. That was both a shot at Machine Gun Kelly and Diddy. So if you want to know why he's dissing Diddy, the three major people.
Our conclusion to it is when we connect the dots is
the three main people that have been talking shit about M over since Revival and over the last few years. You got Charlamagne the God, Joe Budden,
Machine Gun Kelly.
And Machine Gun Kelly. All three of them are on Puff's payroll. Joe Budden has a deal with Revolt TV, which is Puff's YouTube channel. Machine Gun Kelly is signed to Bad Boy Records. I'm not sure what the exact affiliation with Charlamagne is, but I know he's affiliated to him, directly. I don't know what, so apologies for not doing my research on that, but that is facts. Those three are connected to Puff. So this is M taking a ballsy, shot at the head, at who he perceives as the head. Diddy had a green light Machine Gun Kelly's projects. And again, everybody talking shit about M has been on that. So that's M responding to that, directly. I honestly not sure how. Did he go too far?
No.
I'm on the ropes of whether he went too far or not. I mean,
no. I mean, again, if M feels that all this is because of, and again, this is my thought process. If he feels that Diddy is responsible for all this, and coincidentally, like everything that's against M at the moment, it all points to one source, right? So, I mean, it's beef, son.
I would think Puff is responsible. I just feel like he's not saying anything and he's going
but that's the
along
thing,
with
right?
it. So
if you have a good relationship,
guilty
with
by
somebody,
association.
You nip that.
So
why would you greenlight Machine Gun Kelly to respond and say something to M and if you think maybe your artist is wrong for what they're doing, or why would you want to even put them in that spotlight unless you think they're gonna give you the bliss that you need,
right?
And bump you up and you really think Machine Gun Kelly is gonna be the one that's gonna kill M and make Puff.
Well, the other argument it was for money because Interscope is the parent company for both Bad Boy Records and Shady Records.
Yeah.
So that's the other fan theory
That
out
was
there.
inside the beef.
Yeah. So you know, a
Clan.
lot of different layers to this. The other interesting thing though, and this is just as a hip hop fan, I would be curious to see what Dr. Dre's feeling
Thoughts and
was
view.
on
Yeah.
this. Did he hear this song before it went out? Um, and again, for those of you who don't know, there's a long history between Dr. Dre, Tupac Shakur. Uh, they were on death row together on the Suge Knight. They were friends by all accounts. Again, we're you know, podcast by the fans for the fans. It's just things we've seen in documentaries and heard through music. Um, but that connection M has to Dr. Dre made this line sting a little bit more for me.
I mean, I agree. I'm curious into what Dre has to say about it.
Yeah, as a fan, I would love to hear.
I feel like Dre maybe in the past has stopped M from saying things that he shouldn't have said, and I feel like if it was something that Dre felt something strongly about, he would have not made M drop.
We
that
also
line.
don't know if he heard this before it went out.
I'm
Which, as a fan, I would love to know.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think M would do that. Drop something without knowledge.
Eminem also has a relationship with the Shakur family, which is not very known. He executive produced one of Tupac's posthumous albums.
Loyal
I
to the
believe.
game.
Yes, Loyal to the Game. He was executive produced it, and I believe Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mother, asked him to do that.
Again, I don't know.
We got to fact check on that. But regardless, Afeni Shakur green lighted, you know, Eminem's executive producing of that album. Whether she reached out to him or not, we'll definitely double check that and confirm that either later in this episode or on the next episode. We definitely want to get our facts right on that one. But you know, there's ties there, which as a fan, you know, it made that line again sting a little bit for me and question, did he go too far? Whether that's a true statement or not. It was definitely a shot at Diddy, and for me, a warning shot more than anything.
Well,
like,
to me, it was definitely a shot, and you don't just say something like that unless
Nah,
you're
that shit was
1,000%
crazy.
sure the direction you want to go.
yeah, that was.
Because
Yeah,
there's no going back once you say that.
yeah, nah. Yeah, that was crazy.
Respect to the family, so
Yeah, so
again,
again, you know, rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, the greatest ever fucking do it. He's influenced everybody.
One of my favorite influences.
Everybody. So this line is definitely, you know, hit the chord in the hip hop community. And we don't know what happened. According to Joe Budden, who spoke to Diddy, and this has been out there, you know, Puff's response, and Puff gave permission to Joe Budden to say this,
That cracked me up. By the way.
that he said he'll handle him for that line.
I
So
don't
what
know.
happens down the line, you know, we'll wait to see. The beef between Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem is over. Machine Gun Kelly did state he will not reply.
And this is the part that cracks me up, right? In the Breakfast Club interview, Machine Gun Kelly said, in the words of some sort of, he's not going to reply. For one of his reasons, I believe, is because because M called him a mumble rapper. And he says it in one of
Well,
his
nah.
songs.
The full reason why he said on that interview, because I saw the whole interview, he basically didn't feel like Machine Gun Kelly in his I don't know if he really believes this or this is just what he wants to make people believe, but he feels like he won that battle. So he feels like Killshot doesn't deserve a response because in him saying, "Oh, he called me a mumble rapper," like really, like that was kind of his attitude during that interview. And he said he had something ready, but he heard Killshot and then he put it back in his quote-unquote holster.
Water guns. You can't bring water guns, bro.
I mean, I would have loved to hear the response to see if it did match up to Killshot, but we'll
I already
never
know it don't, but I would love to hear it. But the funny part is back to the binge album that dropped. Not to give any publicity to Machine Gun Kelly, but I'm just briefly touching up on the topic of Machine Gun Kelly upset that M called him a mumble rapper. I'm gonna play 3 songs off his new binge album, and you tell me. If this
snippets,
sounds like,
no copyright infringement. Snippets of songs from the binge
if you guys want to look into it, you guys look into it. But you guys, if you did hear Rap Devil, hear it, and he says that that's how he's been rapping. That's how he always raps. Play this.
That's hilarious.
Be a mumble rapper? Like, can we just pour some out for this old? A mumble rapper? How disconnected are? I don't want time, just face. Put it all on a face. Get the fuck out my face. I cannot feel my face. I don't want time, just face.
All I'm saying is, if you heard Rap Devil and you hear these three songs do not remind me of anything that I've heard from Rap Devil. So I can get where Eminem is coming from. And yeah, I wouldn't reply back because you got lucky with that first shot. And that was Rap Devil. You got people's attention. You got people's attention. You won't be able to live up to the second. So
I
yeah,
mean,
it's smart to just dead it now. Talk your crap on the side and talking about how you don't feel like you need to reply now because of this and your feelings are hurt now. This is a diss. This is what rap is about. You say things. You said a lot of stupid, disrespectful crap, and now your feelings are hurt. Oh, you call me a mumble rapper. Oh, I don't. Now I'm not gonna reply. Or you know what? Killshot ain't even caliber. And then Charlamagne the God says whatever he says. He didn't like it. He liked Rap Devil better. And Machine Gun, you want to give it a 6. Killshot, you want to rate it a 6.
666. Yeah, like that tweet he put up with the three judges all holding up sixes. But remember, Breakfast Club is on again. That's on Diddy's payroll.
Yeah.
So keep that in perspective. Always look at the source. So yeah, but I did see the whole interview, and there were a few things I did want to talk about. Watching that interview, again, I was never a huge fan of Machine Gun Kelly. I liked his first, Lace Up. I did enjoy him on features. Worldwide Choppers, he did good on that.
He was on. Wait, hold on. He was on Worldwide Choppers.
I believe so. The first one. Let me check that.
I don't think he was.
Let me double check that right now.
You talking about the one where he says empanadas?
Yeah, Tech Nine talk about empanadas.
Machine Gun Kelly is definitely not on that song.
Hold on, let me double check that right now.
Yellow Wolf,
Fact check time.
Busta, a lot of people, and shouts out to Tech, man. Shouts out to everybody who was on that record too, man. Worldwide Choppers is a classic. Yellow Wolf was on it, and everybody destroyed that track, bro. Amazing. Nah, the only song that I ever heard of Machine Gun Kelly was the Invincible track, and I think there was a feature with DMX. Those were like the only two songs that I heard. But I think it's hilarious that he went up to, opening up for Fall Out Boy, and he again there's two different stories. So, but the videos that we see, people are booing him as he's dissing Eminem. I think that's hilarious. I think that he figured out to stop while he's ahead because he's gonna ruin any other career that he has left.
He was not. My apologies. That was Yellow Wolf.
Yalla.
Damn, I thought he was on that.
Nah.
He did some other tracks with Tech Nine though, besides the No Reason, no?
I've never paid attention to that feature. If so.
All right. Well, again, back to what I was saying about Machine Gun Kelly. I definitely thought he had potential when he came out. I remember we talked about Lace Up.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just fell off our radar. Watching that interview though, man, I felt as a hip hop fan, I felt bad for Machine Gun Kelly. He talks all the shit about M and feeling, Killshot's not worth the reply. I feel like he won. He's gonna move on, do his thing. Binge was dropping. He was promoting that. But then he gets into his personal bag, and that's when I started feeling bad. He was at the Breakfast Club, mind you, Breakfast Club, bro. It's an AM interview with a cup. Charlamagne asked him what it is. He says tequila.
Nice.
All right, my man's drinking in the AM. He goes on to discuss his drug use, which is a reference to the EP being Binge. And this is gonna go into a bigger topic, and we'll follow up with this with episode 2 of the Live from 95 podcast. It was originally gonna be our topic for episode 1, but again, with everything that was going on, we shifted gears. Machine Gun Kelly admitted to heavy drug use, to the point where the people around him are trying to get him to stop. And even Charlamagne, DJ Envy, all of them was just like, yo, you need to, the people around you need to check you. Just to summarize that portion of the interview, MGK basically said something along the lines of, he has no family, he has nobody to talk to, he has his 9-year-old daughter, and he puts that on her. That shit broke my heart, dog, because you're a grown ass man. You're making money, man. I mean, if you got a drug problem, fine. Like, it's the entertainment world. I'm sure a lot of people do. But you're talking to your 9-year-old daughter. And it was funny because I don't know if it was DJ Envy or Charlamagne. One of them was like, yo, why don't you get a therapist? And his response was, when you're from where you're from, if you come from a rough background from the hood or whatever it may be, that you don't really look at that as an option. But he's putting that pressure on your 9-year-old daughter. That didn't sit right. That didn't sit right, and that broke my heart for Machine Gun Kelly. So on a personal level, get help, dog. You had potential. You have skill. Um, get help. This was an issue again. We were gonna discuss. There's a big issue in hip hop right now with the current artists. With these drug addictions and all this lean shit, and how it's affecting the youth. Machine Gun Kelly does say he makes songs on how to live right, and I respect that. Especially going back to M, being a fan of M, and he discussed that. I was never a drug user like that, but alcohol was an issue for some period, and anybody who's had some kind of addiction issue, whether it was severe or not, you could relate to that. Knowing the right thing to do and trying to tell your friends and other people the right thing to do. So he does make songs about that, and he made a comment that those songs don't get the hits on YouTube. It's his other shit that gets the hit on YouTube, and that's a huge problem, y'all. That's a huge problem. Y'all want to talk about content, but the shit that gets content doesn't get hits.
The thing with that, and I don't blame the artist, because the artist can make the songs. I blame the record labels and those that are forcing these young artists or artists in general to put out the hits, quote unquote.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. You want that radio hit, that club hit that's gonna bank and you're gonna get money off of, and the label's gonna make back and all that. I get it, but at the end of the day, like you can't sit there and shelf a song that I'm making about depression because you want me to talk about I'm popping bottles in the club and drinking lean. Again, going back to what Joey's, on his podcast saying about what he said about M. Again, the guy who you looked up to, you idolized, the guy who signed you, the guy who's putting out money against for your album and all this, the things that you can just say about him, you know what I'm saying, without even hesitating. I get it, you're mad to vent for an hour and 30 minutes about how you're better than him. Honestly, you're both two great artists, but I feel like you both bring something different to the table, and you can't compare it. You know what I'm saying? My money is just as good as your money.
And they both spoke about these issues, and I want to give a shout out because I just listened to another song off Binge before we started this. Lately, by Machine Gun Kelly. Please check that song out. It's actually a pretty dope song off the Binge EP. I know we're over here definitely. It may sound like we're stands or defending M or whatever the case may be. We just want to defend that argument of content and what is content, and that loops back into this Machine Gun Kelly interview where he made that statement. You know what I mean? Where the stuff that he has with content is not getting those hits, and he expressed that. And that's sad. So on that note, and all these drug uses and everything that's going on in hip hop right now, I just want to a very sincere rest in peace to Mac Miller, who passed away a week ago. Another good one lost. So this shit needs to stop, y'all. Like artists are putting content out there and it's not being paid attention to. So on the next episode, we're definitely gonna talk about this new generation. We're gonna go into lyrics. We're gonna go into breakdowns and all that. But yeah, man, it's a sad time. So that broke my heart for Machine Gun Kelly. He lost that battle. I thought it was a valiant effort. Rap Devil on the first listen, takes you aback. He definitely had balls, so big up to him. For the attempt, but I mean, M got you, dog. But on some real shit, the fans need to support the realness because there's real shit going on. These artists are dealing with shit, and we don't want another Mac Miller. So, MGK, we probably won't ever hear this, but just to put it out there, wishing you the best, with your, personal shit. Hopefully you get back on it because you are a talented dude, man. You had potential. But yeah, so again, RIP, Mac Miller, and anybody who's listening to this, thank you for listening. Hope you tune in for the next episode. Again, we'll be addressing some more serious issues. But we'll always keep it hip hop. And peace and love, y'all.